He slowly made his way to the large, jagged opening. Once inside the dimly lit cave, he walked to a wooden platform overlooking a massive crevasse that stretched endlessly into the mountain's depths. Below him, hundreds of hand-chiseled walkways lined the walls of the crevasse, leading to the depths of the massive gorge. Spread along the many stone platforms stood thousands of dark elves, all standing silently, waiting for orders. His teeth clenched again, and he softly growled in his throat at the pathetic living conditions he and his people had been forced to suffer over the past 3 years. He slowly stepped to the platform edge, ready to address his loyal servants. A slow-burning torch on the side of the platform illuminated his light purple skin and black eyes to his followers below. His face was in a permanent snarl, but somehow it appeared unnaturally calm. His face did not portray anger, fear, or love. It was as if he had no emotion behind his eyes at all, just a hollow shell of someone who had lost himself long ago. There was nothing left to be seen in his eyes but nothingness itself, an empty abyss. He inhaled deeply, then spoke in a calm, sinister voice. "Brothers and sisters of Shrine Guard, 3 years ago, we failed. I failed you, and you all failed me. The humans proved more resilient than we had anticipated. We have but a fraction of our numbers from 19 years ago. We are heavily outnumbered, even more so than at the beginning of the so-called Shreven Wars. But fear not, my children, for last time we were honorable, we gave them the chance to serve us, and they spit in our face. We waged war for 16 years against a nation tenfold our size. We laid waste to dozens of major cities even after they were warned that we were coming. This time, we have the element of surprise on our side. This time we will not be honorable, for they would sooner execute our entire race than let us live in peace. We will no longer live under the rule of humankind. They are cruel, barbaric, and oppressive. But no longer. Tonight, we will have our revenge. Thortica's streets will run with blood, and the capital city will be nothing more than a smoldering pile of ash by morning. Thortica will be ours, and the eradication of mankind shall begin. We will leave no man, woman, child, or infant alive, for we cannot have peace until the human race is purged from this world, along with anyone who would stand by their side. Tonight starts the end of this unholy war the humans wage on this world. Tonight begins the fall of humanity." The elves in the crevasse chanted in unison. The cheers boomed throughout the hollow mountain, echoing out into the night sky. Drekel gazed down upon his people once more, and then turned to his side, where a young, fair-skinned, dark elf stood. Her green and brown leather hood hung over her eyes in an attempt to make her seem more fierce. However, the hood could not hide her natural beauty. Beauty in the ranks of the dark elves was viewed as weakness. 16 long years of war had hardened the elves, turning them cold and ruthless and fundamentally changing their view of the world. It was no longer enough to be strong or tough in their minds. You needed to look the part as well. This, coupled with the fact that she was a female in the first place, made living with the elves a constant power struggle. However, to her advantage, she had an extraordinary power unmatched by any other elf, including Drekel himself, an extremely rare power that made her one of the most critical players in Drekel's new army. Drekel walked to her, standing uncomfortably close. Then, lifting the hood from her head, he gazed into her green eyes and softly stroked her cheek. "Fralel, it is time," he said in a somewhat softer but still stern and commanding tone. She looked up, meeting his black eyes, and nodded, then walked to the platform's edge, peering down into the darkness. The roaring chants flooded her mind, breaking her focus. Fralel inhaled sharply, then closed her eyes, drowning the noise in her mind. She lowered her hands by her side, then swirled her fingers and wrists in a fluid motion. Dark green magic trickled from her fingertips like a flowing stream of mist. The green stream drifted to the ground, splitting into several small tendril-like canals. The green, inky magic crept down the cave walls, trickling to the depths of the crevasse, then slowly slithered to 3 massive iron cages looming in the darkness. In each cage lay a sleeping dragon bound by chains. These 3 dragons were all that remained from their defeat years ago. Their bodies were battered and covered in dozens of deep scars. They had been laid dormant by powerful magic for 3 years, only being woken to breed and be fed just enough to keep them alive.